of the worst teams, certainly among the 2 or 3 worst teams in the NFL for a variety of reasons. Part of it, talent deficiency. A lot of it, I think, was the spirit of that team was taken away. The Saquon thing, I think, weighed on them. The way the Daniel Jones benching took place sort of took all the air out of their sails. As I watch them now, they have more good players than I think most people realize. They have, assuming he's healthy, a legit #1 wide receiver. They got a little life with this quarterback. I don't know when he's going to start, but at some point Jackson Dart becomes their quarterback. They have Russell Wilson who could hold down the fort. I'm going to make the statement: the Giants are a better team than most people think, and in a division where Dallas, all of it, who knows what the heck is happening with them. Washington, we'll see. There's some signs for the potential for some regression. The Giants are going to make things a lot more interesting than people expect.
Yes, the worst thing the Giants could do is think that they're good. Because when Brian Daboll got there and had that first year, and he had Daniel Jones playing at a level that we hadn't seen, and they get into the playoffs, it ruined everything. And it expedited all the expectations and who they really are. Yes, they are improved and better. But now everyone's like, play Jackson Dart, and oh my gosh, we're going to go. No, you're not. This is still a subpar offensive line. So focus on building your lines of scrimmage. Yes, their defensive line's awesome. Can they get the lead to allow their defensive line to go hunt the quarterback? I think the defense will keep them competitive. I think that Malik is outstanding. Slayton's a good piece. He's going to have to step forward. But thinking that they are going to be this, oh my gosh, we can get into the playoffs team is going to totally ruin the path that they're on. Just continue to build and have the long-term vision if you're the Giants.
Yeah. Televised preseason football is a dangerous narcotic. like you watch and you're like, oh, this could be special.
Right.
And it's not. Like, you don't know who they're playing or like what the game plan is against them, if there even is one on a given week. So to Dan's point, they have to remember who they are. This is a big part of the whole Brian Daboll thing with Russell Wilson's going to start and Jackson Dart's going to start when he's ready. Like, he's got to do right by the entire organization and by Jackson Dart. So like it's important to remember that this is still you can be excited about the left tackle if he's healthy, the wide receiver if he's healthy, the pass rush should be awesome. They may not be a ton of fun to play. Man, have you seen their schedule?
It's brutal. But I mean, a lot of schedules look like they're going to be something, and then the season starts, and you never know what winds up happening. When should Jackson Dart be the starting quarterback for the New York Giants?
Right now. Right now, he should be the starter. And I know, but we know the plan. We know the plan. Again, for me, it's about reps. It's about what you've been able to do and show in practice. I'm perfectly fine with Russell Wilson starting. We all know Russell Wilson is not going to be the answer for the New York Giants. So here's the thing, though, about you saying the Giants need to settle. I think the Giants are going to be a problem this year, especially in their division. I think they are going to be an issue for these teams. And first of all, we ain't really talking about but one great team right now. We don't know what the Commanders are going to end up being, obviously, with this Terry McLaurin thing. And think about this as well. Before Dan Quinn showed up to Washington, that organization was dead. It took 1 year. It took one player to change the perspective of what we think now about the Commanders. We literally are talking about the Washington Commanders being one of the teams that would not shock us to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Think about where we are from 2 years ago. But it was because they expedited. They got rid of a lot of contracts of good guys that they thought they had. They changed that out. Obviously, you get a chance to draft Jayden Daniels. That changes a lot. But ultimately, they went all in on winning now. I think the Giants should, too.
They also cut a lot of cancer out of that organization in Washington, right? From the top down, right? I think it was a lot different in Washington, and you got a player that we now feel is transcendent at the most important position on the field. We don't know if Jackson Dart is that. We're not saying that he's not, but we definitely aren't expecting him to be. For Brian Daboll, what it's about is doing what's the best thing for this team, not doing what's the best thing for Jackson Dart in particular. It's figuring out how far can Russell Wilson take us? Can we remain relevant? Can we remain competitive? Understanding that Jackson Dart is the next step. I think defensively, they have pieces on every level that can be extremely good. I think offensively, you still have to work some things in. And Jackson Dart getting an opportunity to sit and watch regular season football, I believe will help him. What I did see in person, though, was he was thrust into the game. They went no huddle against the Jets, and the kid handled everything. And more importantly, he threw an interception and was able to come back.
All right, I want to get to to something else here very quickly, because we had a very interesting conversation about it before we started. I'm dying to hear from you guys on this. Travis Hunter did not play in the Jaguars' second preseason game Sunday against the Saints due to an upper body injury, according to his coach Liam Cohen, also held out of Friday's walkthrough as a precaution. First and foremost, Graziano, do we have any sense of this injury and his situation?
It doesn't sound like they're concerned about this affecting the start of the season, but obviously any missed practice time for a player that's trying to be two players is gonna set him back a little bit.
So, RC, say to these guys what you said to me in the meeting this morning.
That if he doesn't play both sides of the football, you wasted a pick. You wasted assets. You decided that moving up to number 2 wasn't truly what you wanted to do, because he's not the number 2 pick as a wide receiver. He's not the number 2 pick as a cornerback. He is the number 2 pick if he plays both.
Right.
He is the number 2 pick if he affects both sides of the football. If he doesn't do that, what you gave up, giving up next year's first-round pick to get him is not worth it to play offense primarily or no defense, and vice versa. So to me, if you have to make that decision based on his inability to physically hold up throughout 17 games, it was a mistake to draft Travis Hunter.
If he predominantly plays offense, catches 70 passes for 1,200 yards and 6 touchdowns, and Trevor Lawrence looks like the number 1 pick, he's absolutely worth the...
No, because then you could have got Ladd McConkey last year.
Yeah.
Because Ladd McConkey had 1,200 yards.
But this regime wasn't there last year.
But it's Liam Cohen's problem to fix Trevor Lawrence. It's not Travis Hunter's problem to fix Trevor Lawrence.
No. It's James Gladstone's the general manager. It's his responsibility.
Neither receivers nor corners ever go number 2. That is the rarest of rarities.
Calvin Johnson went number 2. He's not Calvin Johnson.
No, I know that. But like listen, I understand the premise, but the most important thing in Jacksonville is getting Trevor Lawrence to play at an incredibly high level, because he was supposed to at the number 1 pick. And if Travis Hunter is part of that, and he steps in even with the asset given to him and the high draft pick, and he comes in and this offense rolls and Trevor Lawrence looks outstanding, totally worth it.
But he can help on both sides of the ball.
No question.
Their defense only had 8 takeaways last year. Like, you got to get Trevor Lawrence the ball in some good field position.
If Travis Hunter plays both sides and he gets 6 interceptions on defense and he catches 50 passes and Trevor Lawrence stinks, what he does doesn't matter. It's about Trevor Lawrence.
But
Trevor Lawrence is responsible for Trevor Lawrence.
I totally agree.
And if he catches 50 passes and he gets 6 interceptions, first off, he's going to be an all-pro cornerback. Right? And as an all-pro cornerback who also caught 50 passes, you know what else he's going to be? He's going to be a freaking unicorn. Because nobody else in the history of the world has ever done that. And if Trevor Lawrence can't beat Trevor Lawrence that he was drafted to be, and he catches 50 passes, and Brian Thomas Jr. is Brian Thomas Jr., that's Trevor Lawrence's fault. Get a new damn coach, get a new GM, and get a new quarterback. Because it ain't his fault.
Maybe 50 catches is a high number.
Yeah.
But that's my point. Is like, if he is predominantly playing wideout, and he maybe is subpar defensively or only plays in nickel or sub packages,
I can live with that.
He lights it up on offense,
that's okay. What I'm saying, if he just plays 1, it's a loss.
Swagoo, I've been asking all preseason long. Can a man do this? Can a man do what he says he wants to do and this team seems to think he's going to do?
No, it's special packages on defense. I think they drafted Travis Hunter because they wanted him to play offense. And I think it's unfortunate, because I think I've been in line with RC on that one thing, is when he said, I think on defense, if he full-time went there, he would be in one of those corners, one of those Surtain, one of those guys that changes a defense.
Yeah.
So offensively, you did do it because you got to progress your quarterback, and I think you waste him in that way.
I sat with James Gladstone, their GM. He said the reason we moved up to take him is because he changes the math. They feel like he's going to give them an extra player every week that the other team doesn't have. So it wasn't just because they can play receiver.
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. If I'm the defensive coordinator, I'm the DB coach. What I'm gonna tell every cornerback is every time he's lined up out there, I want you to drop